What's up, guys? Welcome back to the JP and Trav Show on the JP and Trav YouTube channel. As always, it's your host with the most, JP. And below me, I have my esteemed co-host, brother, and friend, Travis J. Davison. Travis, how we feeling, man?
Man, I'm good. Real good. Coming off, obviously, a fantastic trip to Auburn. Just Tyler was asking me on the radio today. He's like, "Is it your favorite OU road trip you've ever taken?" I'm like, "It's got to be up there, man. I mean, the SEC. It's truly different. I mean, it's the amount of people outside the stadium, the amount of people tailgating, the money they put into tailgating, lots of tradition, fun, packed stadium. Like it was a lot of fun, and then obviously you get to see Michael Hawkins Jr. era start. You get to see your first SEC road game victory, your first SEC victory live. So it was really cool because something that's going to go down in history for multiple reasons. So happy to be there. Great time. Love road tripping it. So I was able to stop in Memphis both lunches, Friday and Sunday. And yeah, it was great. Did Rendezvous Ribs on the way down and did Gus's famous fried chicken on the way back. Neither disappointed. So, but excited to have our guest for this week.
Absolutely. It's been a minute. Friend of the show, been on here before, but we're excited to welcome back the man, the myth, the legend, better known as PG, Preston Gant. Preston, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. My Royals advanced to go play the Yankees. So, yeah, maybe I got a repeat of 2014 and 2015. Maybe they'll make it to the World Series again.
Hey, there's always an opportunity, right?
Hey, this is an opportunity for the Chiefs to win their fourth straight Super Bowl and for the Royals to go out there and try to win a World Series. So I don't know if that's ever been done before. In the same year. I don't know if it's ever been done.
Yeah, from the same city. Yeah, That would be interesting. Somebody look that up for us if you can.
Did when the Sox won it, did Brady win one in New England? I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, I gotta think about that.
I think that would be a possibility.
Maybe that would have been
maybe back in the day, the Knicks and the Yankees.
Yeah. Unfortunately, guys, we're not live on Twitter tonight because my account is under review for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe I got a strike. How can you get a strike on Twitter? I don't know. People are raging against the machine. But thanks for being here tonight. Those of you who are in here already, make sure we like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure we share as well. Make sure we get it out that we're live and in here. So, guys, let's go ahead and get to Week 5 review, Auburn versus OU. Man, this was just a crazy game. And obviously, PG and I weren't PG. I'm assuming you weren't there.
No, I was not.
Yeah.
Also, it stressed me out enough that I'm going to pour myself a drink. So
yeah.
Got to go with the horns down, fine spirits. 10% of all national sales and their merch sales, their cut of their merch sales, go to OU Baseball NIL. So that worked. I'll get as close. I got the mic today, so
Are they going to sell this at the baseball games this year? Or am I going to be able to buy a drink at the baseball games?
I don't think you're going to be able to buy this at the base. I need to get another bottle. This at the baseball games because it's not an athletic department partnership. It is an NIL-based partnership. So, no, it'll be out on the berms, though. I'm sure many of our friends will be enjoying it on the berm. So, shout out. I think it's in total of 50 liquor stores in the state of Oklahoma right now. Go pick it up. You don't need to go pick apples. You can just pick one of these up. So, cheers, everybody. Now, on to Auburn. Sorry about
that. About that time, too. About that time. Yeah, this game was, insane. Obviously, PG and I were not there in person. We're watching. Trav, you were. And so, Trav, we'll start with you, man. Just what was the vibe of the game, that the entire time, and then we'll get into obviously what PG and I got to watch on the broadcast, but just live, what were the vibes in the stadium?
Yeah, it was odd because you had kind of the weird impending doom from Auburn fans because they've turned the ball over more than anybody in the SEC by a wide margin, right? And they had not turned the ball over, unless you want to count the turnover on downs, I guess. But like they hadn't turned the ball over through 3 quarters, and you could kind of feel the tension in the press box of like, it's coming. It's coming. Like there's going to be a back-breaking turnover. We don't know when. And he kept on throwing it at, like Code McKenzie and all these, like hitting them with the ball. And it's like, okay, did we get away with it? Were we able to not turn the ball over because, OU didn't make the plays or anything like that? And then came the Kip 6, right? So it was funny because I've been in a lot of press boxes where big plays happen against a home team, right? And there's anguish, right? Like it was weird. Like on my side of the press box, I was like all Auburn people, right? So like they were just kind of like, yeah, that's about right. Like that's how this season has gone. Like we were expecting it, is what it is. When is the big, catastrophic thing happening? But I'll tell you what, cool stadium, really weird setup. So the press box used to be at the 50-yard line. But and then they had like a southwest end zone club, kind of like OU's got their south end zone suites and everything like that. Because a lot of people in suites, we shouldn't say a lot, some people in suites don't really watch much of the game, so they don't need a clear vantage point or anything like that. They might have their kids with them, or they might be, doing whatever, right? Well, that's why the southwest corner used to have suites in it. Well, they were like, hey, we could probably sell those like 50-yard club level where the press box is, we could probably sell those for a mint. And they did, and they renovated the area, and it's super cool. But they shoved all the media and the radio booth down in the southwest corner. So it was very difficult to see. Toby, I'm sure for those of you that listened to Toby, he was talking about it on the broadcast. But no, it was awesome. It was tough. They didn't really get going as a crowd until about, like third quarter kind of, because they didn't really have reason to, right? Like, first series of the game, they go 3 and out. First series for us, 4 play, 68-yard touchdown. Michael Hawkins Jr. OU fans are going nuts, right? And Auburn fans are going great here. Losing streak continues, right? So they start to pull ahead, and it's like, okay, this is really going to be crazy. Well, then at the end of the first half, they missed 2 field goals, short field goals, like back to back, right? 12 men on the field, obviously, and then missed the other one. So, like, they're going into half depressed, right? Because they should be up by more. And then, so it was like mid-third quarter, probably when they went up like 21-10, you could really feel the crowd really start to get into it. They were doing the swag surf and all that. And they were, I talked to the Clemson people, the Auburn people, and was like, dude, do you guys always wear orange? And they're like, no, it's an orange out. I was like, did you do that because we hate orange? Like orange, like the Boz shirt, orange makes me puke. Like we had to go Tennessee, and then Auburn doing an orange out, and then next is Texas. It's like, I don't know when in OU history they've played 3 teams in a row that all wear orange, but I'm about sick of it. I needed a bye week from all that orange. So, anyways, it was a great game. Obviously, the comeback, insane. The big play to JJ down the right side there. The big kicks by Zach Schmidt, everything like that. It was great. And then tailgated afterwards with the post-game show. Did that for 2 hours, and then rolled my butt back to Montgomery, where I slept like a baby. I'll tell you what, I'm getting like those 2:30 slots. It's kind of nice. Kind of nice. I was like, we were done with radio by like 8. And I drove back to Montgomery. I think I was in bed and showered by like 9:30.
That's amazing.
Like just watching football, in the hotel room, hanging by a thread on that Rice-Charlotte game due to the Ref Royal Rumble. But yeah, it was a great time. I recommend anybody that can go to some of these SEC away games. just do whatever you can to get out there. It's a lot of fun, and we need as many OU fans out there as we can. Man, these crowds ain't no joke.
Yeah. PG, what do you think, brother?
Man, the defense, like again, it was nice to see the defense go out on the road and play the way they did against an SEC opponent. But I was really impressed with Hawkins, and I want to be honest, I have not been the biggest Hawkins supporter because I am just against playing true freshmen when you have other options. But Michael Hawkins impressed me this weekend. Like, he absolutely impressed me to go in there to one of the hardest places to play in college football. And I mean, do what he did. He only threw in 5 incomplete passes, and he was making checks on the line that, I mean, you would see like a senior tenured quarterback make. So when I watched that game, I was impressed, and I was impressed with the offense as a whole, which I think a lot of people might disagree with, but I saw the offense make huge strides, specifically on the offensive line, which I talked about earlier this week in a video. The offensive line had by far their best game of the season. And if they continue to have this built chemistry and a little bit of camaraderie on that offensive line, by the time we go play a Bama defensive line, they might be clicking on all cylinders, and it might not be the same offensive line we saw at the beginning of the year. So watching this game and seeing the improvement, like it sucked that we kind of had to pull the game out in the way we did, but welcome Sooner Magic to the SEC. But I was impressed. Like, I felt good about a lot of things coming out of this game, things that we can build on. Like, I go into Texas with maybe a little bit more confidence than I had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. I mean, I think you guys are both correct. And specifically, PG, to your point, I think seeing Hawkins just have the command of the offense that he did, I think was really impressive. And again, this is not a Jackson Arnold hate show or anything like that. You know, we wish the best for him. There's a shot. You know, hopefully, prayerfully, Hawkins continues to progress and doesn't get injured, right? But that we would need him again, right? So he has to be prepared. But he didn't see stuff like that from Jackson. I mean, at home, he didn't see it at home, much less, you know, on the road. And I get it. You know, you obviously on the road you got to be a lot more animated, like Hawk was. But at the end of the day, like, just the way he looked, the way he was willing to communicate, just looked different. Okay, so yeah, that's how I felt about the game.
It was funny because somebody in the press box, one of the Auburn guys, he's like, the way Hawkins like checks at the line, communicates to his offensive lineman, he goes, dude, he looks exactly like the video game. He's like, it's like he's designed like to try and mimic the video game, like EA Sports college football, how he gets in and does. I was like, man, I never even considered that. But it was just funny. Like, he did the first time he did it, he was like, oh my God, he looks just like the video game. I'm like, dude's a machine. That's why. Absolute machine. So, yep. So, apologize, PG, that we did not start Jackson on the road. But, you know, Hawkins got us the dub. Love that he's just able to do things that Jackson can. That's fine. With a clean pocket, who knows? Jackson might be able to do some things Hawk can't. I'm not convinced of it at this point, but we only need Hawkins to protect the football and hit on a few chunks a game. Like, we don't need to score 35 a game. We shouldn't. If he can sustain drives, get 12-play drives out there, 14-play drives out there, burn some clock, let the defense rest so they can really go out with fresh legs and pin their ears back, like, that you can win a lot of games with Hawkins showing flashes of brilliance, but showing long sustained periods of not making the boneheaded mistake. Because, you know, this game had 2 quarterbacks that can make things happen. I mean, Auburn has I think they lead the SEC in explosive plays. And, you know, Hawkins obviously is explosive. It came down to which guy's going to make the catastrophic mistake. And Peyton Thorne made the catastrophic mistake that many people would think that a true freshman making his first road start would make. So there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, and then Peyton Thorne goes out there and says he'll make it 10 out of 10 times.
Which was correct. Like, that's what he's supposed to do. Like, he broke it down in the video, and everybody was like, oh, you mean you'll throw a pick 10 out of 10 times? He said he would make that read 10 out of 10 times, and it was the correct read. He walks everybody through it. He even said 10, Kip obviously, walked up, put his hands on on 77 on their right guard, so he thought he was coming because he saw in his vision as he's looking over to the route that's about to break in, he sees Kip engage with their massive number 77 right guard. And he's the one, he pushes Kip. And honestly, if he doesn't push Kip very hard and he just kind of like pass blocks a little bit and kind of hand fights with him, Kip probably doesn't get back there. But he pushed Kip so hard, and he's massive, that he accidentally pushed Kip into better position than he probably would have been had he just backpedaled. So I think Peyton Thorne made the exact correct read. He walked through it. He made the correct read for the protection, for the coverage, everything like that. Brent and Zach just had the right play call on. And for whatever reason, they weren't just pounding the rock. Like, that's the real, like, what are you doing? Why do you even have an option to pass at that part of the game? Like, run the rock. You're going to be fine.
That's because OU's defensive line is just good at stopping the run. But one of the things that I noticed, because people are here talking about Seth Luttrell still having a job in the chat. One thing you noticed in the game, and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like there was still a little bit of experimenting going on of what's going to work with Hawkins. And because it felt like the play calling is a little different with Hawkins in there. So maybe the playbook looks a little different. Like, Seth Luttrell is one of the best offensive coordinators that I think you could have gotten. Like, when he was at North Carolina and he was, at all these stops, like, he had top offenses in the country, like one of the top 10 offenses in the country. So I would expect that, if you have 3 out of your 5 top receivers in this lineup, this offense looks completely different. It probably opens up in a way that we haven't seen it this season.
Yeah.
Like, because I saw things in this game, like at the beginning of the game, you saw a screen pass to Brennan Thompson. Like, I think that's something you experiment with that you probably play a little bit more. Like, that, I think, is a winning play for you right there. And a lot of people might hate on it, but I mean, that's the stuff you got to do to be able to get your quarterback in rhythm and, maybe get some of these, games where you're going to start putting out 300 or 400 yards of offense. But quite frankly, you don't need that. You just need to score 25, 30 points a game. That's all you need to do to win. That's all you need to do. If you score 25 or 30 points against Tennessee, you're 5-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just need somebody to manage the game. But no, I think as he continues to get away from calling Levy's offense and get towards calling Luttrell's offense, because if anybody has watched Luttrell at any other stop, it does not look like this. But you'll see the offensive line start to gel. Like, that's what's funny to me is if honestly this would have been Seth's play calling his entire career, he would not be a football coach right now. He sure as heck wouldn't be coaching offense at Oklahoma. So it looks like a guy that's calling an offense that he doesn't really know all that well. And that's what he's doing. So I don't know. I think we're going to see him move more towards things that he has done his whole career. A career that includes working with a lot of these coaches, especially Bill Bedenbaugh, his brother-in-law. Like, they've worked on staffs together. They've built game plans together. Like, this isn't new. I've talked to multiple current OU coaches, former OU coaches, even before this year about Seth's hire. And even one 2 weeks ago that used to work at OU and knows Luttrell very well. He's like, dude, he's not even running his offense. Like, and it makes sense why he wouldn't be. It's just, I'm just not going to go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, I think the offense will be much better moving forward. And it, like I said, it doesn't need to be 35 points a game. Score 27 and you're probably in good shape.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I think, it's just easy because of the offense we've seen, and everybody wants to jump on. It's just, again, same people that wanted to say that Levy was a bad offensive coordinator with two straight top 10, top five offenses in a row. And so now like we get to see what that offense is, but you have your receivers out, you have the offensive line that's banged up. You have a quarterback that's not confident, and like you said, if you're not running your system, it makes it hard to do a few things. Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes from here. But let's look at some of these plays, guys, as we get into our review again. Powered by OU versus the World, formerly on Sooner Gridiron. Hopefully, he gets his account back. Still praying through that. Man, it's hard to lose that type of account. But you guys go ahead and follow him. Is my audio that bad? Do I sound that bad to you guys too? I saw that in the chat. Hopefully, it's not coming across crazy. I'm not on my typical computer, so
I wouldn't say bad. I mean, we can hear you, but I brought my microphone. Maybe there's only a certain amount of microphones we're allowed to have. Maybe, one of us got to be off it. So I brought mine from my office. So, but I don't know. You had a pregame pod this week, so I brought everything to the house
to sound better. I don't know. Sorry about that. Different computers, why we had some technical difficulties. But regardless, let's get to this game film. Kirby be killing me, dog. he does this every week, PG. He makes one joke every week that just has us cackling. Okay.
That's a good one because I can hear it now too.
Let's go to the first play that really set us on to how this game was, well, how we thought at least it was going to go. It's Michael Hawkins run here. I mean, just pure speed. I mean, there's just like, I'm not gonna lie, and Trav, I'm interested to hear about what your perspective was, right, from the stadium. But when he gets to about the 30-yard line, 35-yard line, I'm like, okay, like great run. Now I'm like, whoa, like he's running away from people.
It looks like Kyler Murray out there.
Hey,
yo, chill. You didn't even want him playing, so now you're pulling Kyler comparisons out. No, it was interesting because obviously he's running towards the press box, right? He's running south. So it was funny because while it's a bad angle to see yard lines, it's a great angle to see holes open up, right? So when I saw him step through, I could see everything from where I'm sitting, right? So I see the running back pull the safety out to that side. That's wide open. Brennan is trying to get down to block, but he even can't catch Hawkins. You kind of see, hey, if he can make that corner, he's gone. And then he does the smoke, throw it down, put it out, celebration. I mean, dude's got a little swag. He doesn't show a lot of emotion on the field, but he's got a little swag after a score. But he's fast, man, super fast. So outrunning safeties like that don't have that bad of an angle on you. That's the real deal. But yeah, he was running right at us, and my thought is, oh my God, like what an iconic start to a career, right? Like your first game as a starter, true freshman, road SEC game, ruckus environment, first series. They're looking to be loud, be in your face, everything like that. And all you do is house one, 48 yards. I mean, the longest run that OU's had this year, right before later when he completes the longest pass that Oklahoma has had this year. I honestly, when it happened, I was like, oh my God, like just my instant was, is this the offense now? Like, are we going to score like this? Because we might be the best team in the country if this happens. Like that was going through my mind. I was like, dude, like you've had 4 plays as a starter. You scored on the 4th play with a miraculous run. Like we might win this game 35-0. Like, of course, that feeling was very fleeting. But what else can you think when you force them to a 3 and out and then you score in 4 plays with your true freshman? You know what I mean? Like what other thing are you thinking at that point other than, man, this is our offense now? So
Yeah.
obviously,
The amount of people that tweeted "We're back" on Twitter was just.
hey, Hawkins for Heisman's definitely back. I'm all over that. But yeah, it just this fan base was so starved, right? And they're like, man, is the true freshman really the? I mean, I saw people that were like, I don't know if you can start a true freshman on the road, man. Just like maybe let Jackson go out there and get his wits about him. Maybe he got shook up enough to where he's good now. It's like, no, like let Hawk go out there and cook, and that's what he did.
Indeed. All right, let's look at this goal line stand that happened on the ensuing possession. Auburn, obviously outgained us the whole game and everything. And while defense obviously made enough plays, I think they would have meant they weren't on their best behavior that day. But again, with the defense we have now, even with not being on their best behavior, they're still going to give us chances to win games. So goal line stand here. This is I believe every play on that. So our Mason gets him on first down. And
Go back
guy,
on that. And look how our Mason. Go back to the beginning of that play, and watch how our Mason gets caught up in the middle and then gets back around for what a lot of people thought was a horse collar. So he gets on the inside and then pops out, gets off the block, shows the speed to get to the edge, and shakes his head like, where do you think you're going? You think you're going to get to the edge on me? Incredible stuff. There he is again, taking him down with a little help from Billy, talking his talk. Like, I'm sorry, did you not watch last year's Texas tape?
Right.
Like, you're trying all the way back from the 3, bro. We stop people from the 1. I don't know who you think you are.
I mean, it felt like
Kobe's killing himself for that one. He's like, dude, how do I miss that tackle?
It felt like Hugh Freeze, though. It felt like he needed to take these risks in this game. Because, I mean, at the time, it felt like Oklahoma's offense was going to be hard to keep up with. So I felt like at this point in the game, Hugh Freeze is thinking, I've got to take a shot. I mean, a field goal might not be enough.
Yeah.
Well, and also the analytics community now, you see it all over the place. There's not a single, analytics, model that will tell you to kick a field goal from the, when you're 2 yards out. Like, because of course their argument is, hey, worst case scenario, they got to go 99 yards on you. So it's the analytics community sometimes is a bit overwhelming in that bit because they always say go for it. So, but yeah, I mean, totally get it. I mean, they were already in a 7-0 hole. You just saw Hawkins get out there and torch your defense. You don't know if that's going to keep happening, but yeah. And apparently your field goal kicker stinks, just reeks. So, like, I guess he had no choice.
Yeah. he was rough. I mean, missing 2 in a row is insane. I've never seen that.
We thought we had kicker problems, bro. Our backup was better.
Yikes.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd pick Zach Schmidt last year to miss 2 in a row like that.
No. If he did, his head would have been probably cut off. Okay, let's get to there's this narrative, guys, going around. Not OU social media by any means, but obviously Texas and some other fans that Michael Hawkins Jr. is not a good thrower of the football. That he doesn't have arm talent. I don't know who. I forget. It was a blue checkmark guy. I don't know what his name is. I know blue checkmarks can be Bob, but I'm talking about like it was a.
I think it was Ari, right? Ari from On 3, Wasserman.
I think so. Yes, you're right.
He's never watched Michael Hawkins Jr. Skip Bayless said he doesn't know if he's big enough or has the arm to compete in the SEC. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. People who haven't watched the kid and they see him run and they see that he's a just super athletic black kid, they're like, they just don't assume that he can sit in the pocket and dice people up. And it's unfortunate, but not everybody thinks that. I get not everybody thinks not everybody's coming from that perspective, but there are a decent amount of people that if they haven't watched anything, I mean, the guy's completed 64% of his passes. I mean, it's not like he's some schmuck. So it's like, he like Les said, I put it out on Twitter. It's like he had like a 41-3 touchdown to interception ratio at Frisco Emerson last year.
Yeah.
You don't do that unless you can throw. So it's like, it's just lazy. And what's the thing that annoys me the most? Lazy sports takes and analysis. Like, if you have that big of a platform, do the slightest bit of research. But
Right.
sorry, keep going.
Right. No, I agree. But yeah, just seeing that and seeing somebody say, you bench Jackson Arnold for a guy that can't throw, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what are we talking about? Like, do I think he's a better pure passer, or does his throw look prettier than Jackson's? Maybe not necessarily, but you know what? Like, this tells me all I need, shows me all I need to see.
I think that's part of the problem, though, is I think we talked about Jackson Arnold's arm and his deep ball so much that I think a lot of people just thought that's who we need to roll with, not Michael Hawkins when it comes to being able to throw the deep ball.
Yeah. And I mean,
past the Hester, this is what we need more of. We need more of this.
Well, I think a lot of the narrative was, hey, we need to play Hawkins because with his legs, he can mitigate risk with a makeshift offensive line. But when people say that, I think too many people took it as, oh, well, he can just run. Like, no, he can use his legs to create new throwing windows, to move the pocket, to do things like that. Like, it's not just Jackson's the thrower, Mike's the runner. It was Jackson's going into year 3 of this offense and is a 5-star National Gatorade Player of the Year, Elite 11 MVP. Every single high school accolade you can win, Jackson's got it, and he's been running this offense for going into his 3rd year because he ran it at Geyer. And you were hoping an immense, deep understanding of the offense was really going to be Jackson's biggest feather in his hat, because through camp, Michael Hawkins Jr. throws, obviously, I mean, he can throw a deep ball with Jackson every bit of the way, and he's obviously more mobile. So, anyways, I think some people heard the put in Hawkins so he can use his legs, equated that to he can't use his arm.
Well, and listen, like, I think that's the other thing that bothered me a little bit too, is like the notion that Jackson is not a dual, like he was the number 1 dual threat quarterback. Like, Jackson rushed for about 100 yards against Tulane. Like, he has legs too. Was he just was he computing to where he forgot he was a playmaker? Maybe that was a piece of it, but it's not as if Jackson did not have the ability to use his legs either. We saw that. Like Les said, Jackson Arnold, if you don't have those runs from him, who knows how the Tulane game goes. And I know we could also say, well, some of the other pieces, maybe if he made better reads, whatever, right? You could say any of that. But what I will be honest about, I didn't realize the electricity that Hawkins had, because I think that's the difference. Jackson can run. He can run. Hawk is electric.
Hawkins has a great first step. Like he has a quicker first step than Arnold does.
Yeah, he's absolutely electric, and you can't, like, that's just something that you can't plan for. You can kind of plan for like a dual threat quarterback a little bit, obviously not that Peyton is super dual threat, but he can run. A John Rice Plumlee. Think about guys over the years. Again, you can't always plan for, and I'm not comparing Hawk specifically to him, but Kyler Murray, right? Like, let's just be honest, like an electric type of runner, Lamar Jackson, whatever. You can't plan for those guys. You just can't. So, if that's going to be a part of Hawkins' games, it's going to open up so much more for our offense, and we can get first downs. We can be in better situations if he's able to do that. And it's a lot to put on a true freshman's plate, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if Hawkins can continue to play the way he has, right, and like I alluded to, like, it feels like he has just a quicker first step than Jackson Arnold. It makes, I think, the defense respect him in a little bit of a different way, which I think will end up allowing the pass game to open up a little bit better. And then if the pass game and the deep ball is there, I would imagine the run game gets better, because then the defense is not stacking the box and keeping that running game in the backfield. So I feel like over time, as Hawkins gets a little bit more comfortable in this offense and this offensive line gets a little better, everything's going to open up and the offense will start to hopefully start clicking.
Yeah.
That's my hope.
That's the hope. That's all of our hopes. For sure. Hey, let's get to this play. 2-point conversion. This was a doozy here.
The Hawk Tua point conversion.
The Hawk Tua point conversion. And, at first it's like, man, nobody's open. Auburn has good defense call. But again, this is what I was just talking about. If Hawk's able to do stuff like this on a consistent basis, you can't plan for plays like this, right? You can't plan for things like that. And there's a shot of his parents. I know his mom was blowing Twitter up, unfortunately, because people act like they never seen a good-looking young lady before. But
yeah, they're going all Brent Musburger.
swear they are.
Terrible, terrible. Here's the thing: what I like about this play, look at Gavin Sawchuk. Hasn't had an opportunity all game. He had one opportunity, got called back. He's been working kickoffs, and there he is, lead blocking his guy in the end zone, clearing the way for Michael Hawkins Jr. to go up and over. I mean, look, he thinks he's getting the ball. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna go find work. Let's go.
Yeah.
So shout out Gavin Sawchuk, man. That's a big time play.
So who did it better, Sam Bradford or Michael Hawkins?
I mean, two different circumstances. But I will give it to Hawks simply because of the physicality it took to get into the play, back out of the play, the speed to get around, and then you go over three dudes. Like the degree of difficulty to come up here right next to the center, run into him, come around, and four dudes. One of them's on the ground. Yeah, that's the degree of difficulty is extremely high there.
I just got to wonder if this is going to be a reoccurring thing we see from Michael Hawkins.
It already is. He's done it 2 weeks in a row.
Second game in a row.
I'll tell you one thing. He's more. He's built out of more than Anthony Richardson is right now.
Yeah.
Dude is built out of a glass
Richardson,
house.
isn't that the guy you chose over Baker? Baker's still playing right now. He looked good on Sunday. He didn't have to get carried by his backup, Joe Flacco.
I'm just to clear the air, guys. I never said that. Never came out of my mouth. Okay, just want to point that out. Let's go to the play of the game. The Kip 6 will forever be known as Kip 6. So you got a double mug look here. And I love, man, and it's great, it's fun, playing college football and getting to see some of these formations. And, obviously, for those of you who have played football at a high level, you may know this. There are others who, maybe they didn't. And so a part of the game sometimes it is seeing formations, and it helps their knowledge a little bit. So you have that look. And one of my favorite things to do in video games is, hey, third down, or a pressure situation, whether it's, hey, I'm a blitz or I'm a drop into something, it can confuse a quarterback. And this is, again, what happens to Peyton Thorne, as Travis was alluding to earlier. It's just a perfectly timed play. Like he said, Kip kind of gets shoved here. As you see, he's going back a little bit anyways, but he gets pushed and he starts to, I'm just glad he didn't fall, at this point. I'm just glad he didn't fall. And I don't, I know that Robert Spears Jennings had said, like, I'm glad that Kip did that because I let my guy get in front of me. I don't really know, and I'm sure we'll see here in a second that it would have mattered. I think it probably would have been an incomplete pass regardless. But, again, you'd rather have what we had happen.
Yeah, I mean, multiple things could have gone wrong there from OU's perspective, right? R. Mason Thomas batting down. their right guard not shoving Kip hard enough to get back into his drop. He could have dropped it. If they go and get stopped on the 10, are we guaranteed to score a touchdown on that drive? Who knows?
Yeah.
You would think so, but we haven't seen that so far this year. Him getting hawked from behind, no pun intended. That's a lot of things could have gone wrong there, but just what a play call.
Yeah, I mean, the MVP of that play has got to be our Mason Thomas, because if he doesn't apply that pressure, Peyton Thorne might have a couple more seconds to hold that ball and hit his receiver.
Yeah.
Well, he's hit him in stride there anyways. He's going to throw it right then because that's when the receiver's kind of been out of his break. Like when he threw the ball is when the receiver was supposed to catch it. So as you go back through it, yes, the pressure affects him for sure, but like that's the read, and that's first down. He's got it. Would have had a touchdown if Kip doesn't drop. So, yes, the pressure was valuable, but as far as he's going there with the ball regardless. So I think the MVP might be right guard 77 pushing Kip into the area, because right there he's gone. He catches that, he's gone. And if you wait, RSJ's catching up to him. He's got to turn back around. He's got to change his route. That's where he wanted to go with the football, and the timing was perfect. It was just Kip's timing was perfecter.
Perfecter, if that's a word. But yeah, it was, man, I was going crazy. PG, I'm sure you were going crazy.
My dad's holding the baby while this, he literally looked at me and said, "We need a turnover." He's holding the baby. I mean, I get up, I start celebrating, and he's like doing one of those silent screams because heaven forbid you don't want to wake her up. But
yeah. Yeah. Trav, what was the vibes in the stadium? I know we gotta let you go here in a few minutes.
Well, it was shock, really. Even the Auburn sideline, shock that, Teddy talked about it on their pod, and I texted Teddy whenever I saw it, and I was like, dude, it was weird. Even in the press box, there were people that were like, when is it coming? The terrible mistake is coming. Auburn cannot play a football game that it doesn't turn the ball over, especially not against a team that's so good at causing turnovers. And it was just, they manifested it right there in the press box. A guy sitting next to me, Logan, awesome kid. He's a student at Auburn. He's an Auburn local, went to high school there, grew up there, everything. And he is part of the, I think the student paper or something like that. Anyways, super nice kid. He's writing his story, and he's typing out how Peyton Thorne played a mistake-free game. He doesn't even see Peyton throw the pick. I'm sitting there, kind of lean back, and I grab his arm. I was like, oh, because I can't be loud. I can't cheer. You can't do any of that in the press box. So I'm just and I'm surrounded by Auburn people, and I'm like, I don't want to be too happy looking. You know what I mean? So I just hold that, and he literally looks up, and he was like, he slid his laptop to face me, and it was literally, he was mid-sentence talking about how Peyton Thorne played a mistake-free game. I was like, bro, you did this. You did this.
Don't show up to class on Monday.
It was hilarious. But yeah, it was all the wind got sucked out of the stadium, except obviously on the OU side, and OU side was on the northeast corner. So he was running obviously the northwest corner of that north end zone. But they were loud. They were definitely loud in there. So yeah, just a perfect play call. Look at just roll back and look how far 77 pushes Kip. What sold it was Kip putting his hands on the guard, and then the guard shoves him so hard. Look how quickly he backpedals. Almost falls over.
But the awareness to know that the ball is coming towards you while you're falling backwards like that.
Well, that's the read.
He just got his stance back.
He can either go out or in. That's what Peyton was describing. He's like, and if they were bringing 6 in is where the read is and where the leverage was, where RSJ's leverage was, RSJ's trying to push him back towards help anyways. So the read was great, everything was great, and it was just Kip did his job, and to your point, kept his footing when he got rocked by some dude that's probably 370 pounds just straight into his chest.
Yeah. And then obviously, Kip being Kip, here is if we had another player that just really single-handedly, took over, it was our Mason Thomas, and this is starting to become a trend. I mean, we've been waiting on this. He's not been healthy. He's fully healthy now, and this is a fully healthy R. Mason. I mean, my God. Just
Man, when he ended the game, or when he had that next sack where I think it was Terry that ran him upfield.
It was Grayson.
Was it Grayson? Okay.
Yeah, here we go right here.
Oh, yeah. Grayson ran him upfield.
Man.
I was worried because I thought there would be some type of penalty. I thought he dipped his head or whatever. But, I mean, you talk about no quit, right? You hear about motor. That's motor. He runs himself theoretically out of the play and continues the pursuit and then plants Peyton Thorne like the flag in Columbus. I mean, just boom. Things you don't want to see whenever you try and regain your footing after Grayson Halton gets over there. Grayson's like, give me the half sack. Give me the half sack.
Yeah.
So how scared is Quinn Ewers watching this film right here?
Texas looks good, man. I don't know. Quinn might not be scared, but he should be. He's got some good offensive linemen, but we need to get them convinced that, hey, you need to play like this for all 4 quarters. Because it seems like all of our sacks have come in the 4th quarter. I know at least we've got 18. I know at least 10 of them have come in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
Because 3.5, 2, 5, 6, 6.5.
Yeah, and I mean, I think all of our Masons have been.
All our Masons have come in the 4th quarter, so it's like I'd like that in the first 3 quarters too. That'd kind of be nice, but it's time to shut the game down. Time to shut the game down. So him, RSJ coming through, folding him in half like a lawn chair. That was massive. They just pinned their ears back.
And I'm still mad that I feel like this is happening a lot, man. They didn't even call this. Our Mason's getting mugged right here. Guys holding on for dear life. Doesn't get called.
Yep, wrapped around him.
Doesn't matter. He still finishes it, but didn't even get the flag. Didn't get thrown, which is crazy.
I'm excited to see his 40 time when he gets to the combine.
His face was killing me, but yeah, just a great performance by him, and just the motor that the defensive line has, I think is going to continue to help us as we progress. All right, let's go ahead and get to this or that really quick because I know we got to get Trav out of here. He's got some important stuff to do tomorrow.
Big stuff.
PG, I don't know what your schedule is. If you want to stay on for a few minutes after,
I am on paternity leave, so not nothing.
Yes, sir. Welcome to fatherhood, my brother. Congrats.
Thanks.
All right, this or that. Again, this is patented show where we you had to choose one or the other. None of this in between stuff. You got to choose one. Okay, have to, must. First up, Daniel Jones or Deshaun Watson.
Ugh.
I know it's an ugly one, but that's the purpose.
Oh man.
Oh man.
I'll take Daniel Jones just because he ain't got the history. He ain't got the baggage.
Right. Oh, man. I mean, I don't know.
Baggage doesn't count. We're talking about pure on the field. On the field. At this very moment. Who would you take?
I think you still take Daniel Jones. I think he's playing a little bit better than Deshaun Watson.
It's just,
We're talking about pros.
Is Daniel Jones playing better than Deshaun Watson, or did he just have Malik Neighbors?
Hey, listen, I've got a Singletary on my team, and he's been doing pretty well this year. So
You know Malik
So
Neighbors. I got Malik Neighbors on my team.
you can't do another one. You have to choose one. It's not part of the game. Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite was not an option.
Man, I like Watson. And Watson won Brent a national championship, right?
Yep.
So I mean, if we're talking just things that they've done on a football field and football field alone, I'm going with Deshaun. If we're taking them at their current states,
I'm talking about
it's
current.
Daniel.
Yeah,
Current, it's Daniel Jones.
Head-to-head matchup, the Giants have Cleveland this year, so you got to take Daniel Jones over the head-to-head.
Well, wins aren't a quarterback stat, so you know.
He threw 2 tutties in that game.
Quarterbacks don't play other quarterbacks, so but I will take Daniel Jones. I will agree, even though Daniel Jones is a stinky bum that doesn't deserve half the money that he gets, and the Giants should have gone into the draft, kept Saquon Barkley, and then reset at quarterback instead of doing this. I mean, it's just they should have never given him the money. The Giants have no clue what they're doing. They needed and now that they've got a true wide receiver one of the best wide receivers in the league already, like, you need to get him an exciting young quarterback. Just have to.
Yeah.
After Sam Darnold wins the Vikings a Super Bowl, maybe we'll trade him. Maybe we'll do a little sign and trade, or we'll sign Sam Darnold. We'll trade J.J. McCarthy for a couple first-round picks to the Giants.
I was literally just thinking that, like, should the Vikings sell Sam Darnold while he's really high and take some draft picks? I mean,
we're the number 1 seed in the NFC right now. You don't want to sell them halfway through a season where you're the 1 seed.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Next one. Burgers or hot dogs and grill?
Just on the grill, just at the barbecue. If there's a barbecue going on, and the host opens up the grill, and you got one side burgers, one side hot dogs, and he looks at you and he said, "Burger or dog? Which one are you going with?" Wow, everybody going burgers. Interesting.
Burgers are the way to go. You can do more with it.
Interesting. Is anybody going to step up? Don't get bullied. Is anybody going to step up and say hot dog? Freud isn't asking this question. Don't worry.
So PG and Trav, y'all said burgers?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I'm going dog. What's up? Like, Schwab dog. I got that dog in me. Like,
bread and butter pickles.
I'm gonna do mustard because I'm an adult. And some mustard, maybe some jalapenos, maybe some grilled onions. I mean, they don't have burger carts all over New York City. They got hot dog carts. There are multiple reasons that they do logistically, but I'm going to ignore those.
Yeah, I'm gonna go burger as well. I mean, good burger, you just really can't beat, man. Hot dogs are good, but if I'm getting a hot dog, I want some chili cheese and onions on it. Mustard as well.
PSS, yeah, Hebrew National, I think is what he's going for, right?
Hebrew. Yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, so my thing also is I go by the old Quick Trip, loyal customer, and they've got like a hot dog topping station
that's nice.
with onions and pico and salsa verde and slaw and banana peppers and jalapenos and all kinds of stuff. So I'll get like a jalapeno cheddar dog and throw all that over the top. Man, forget about it.
All right, last one. Chili hot wings. Ooh, that might be fire, actually.
What kind of emoji is that?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out.
I didn't know that was an emoji for YouTube.
Aaron Colvin or Jamel Fleming?
918, stand up. I'm going Aaron Colvin.
I knew you.
First time I ever met Aaron Colvin, was at 747 in Norman. And he used to wear 918 on his eye black. So, being from Tulsa, had to let him know what's up. So, anyways, got to go 918 heavy here. Aaron Colvin, final answer.
I got to go Fleming. Chiefs, baby.
That's fair. The loyalties are coming out. 918. Listen. I do need to get a mic in general, but this is not my normal computer. So this is not my normal audio, okay?
What's funny is I haven't been rolling with a mic for like a long time now, and nobody ever said anything. Hey, Travis, you got to get a mic. I've just been rolling my computer mic. The one time that I bring this, they're like, bro, what's JP doing? Like, come on, man, get your game together. That's hilarious to me.
I got to step my game up, you know.
Sorry for the added pressure.
It's okay. It's okay. I just need to bite the bullet and get one. But regardless, it's another computer that I don't normally use. That's the issue. Okay. Listen, I'm going Aaron Colvin. Jamel Fleming was great, and he was better than Aaron Colvin in the league. But at OU, I just feel like on the teams that Aaron Colvin was on, he had a bigger impact because of the fact that a lot of times the offense wasn't what it needed to be. And he made some big plays in games when we really needed it, and was a lockdown corner when defense was starting to go away, as opposed to Jamel Fleming. You know, he was kind of in the midst of you know, the high. I don't want to say high, but you know, towards the back end as well. You know, so obviously they played together for a little bit, but Aaron was just that dude. Boomer 129, don't get hit, man. Don't get hit. Okay. Don't get hit.
That's what I was laughing about.
I could tell.
Yeah, man.
JP. Yeah, you got it going on back there.
Pick Texas.
I got the moon in the background, and Trav is on a blank wall.
Well, so my main setup now, because I have an office for Team Sports Consulting Group, so I do like my OU Insider pregame pod. I do there, and I'm on a lot of video calls with coaches and athletic directors and people like that. So having that be my kind of professional sports background with all my credentials and this, that, and the other. Sheila, what up? Down payment for a mic? What's good? I love it. Thank you, Sheila. That's awesome.
You, Sheila.
So, anyways, this is in the dining room at the house. So, like, this is not my main setup. This is the office is my main setup. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be at the office till 9 p.m. Central very often. Doing the pod. So maybe I just start putting a virtual background behind me. Who knows?
Yeah.
My background of the office is decently legit. It brings back some of the oldies but goodies, like the Stormtrooper helmet. But speaking of my day job, I've got
You have an early meeting.
Massive early meeting with to take on perhaps a whole D1 athletic department under contract. So we'll see. But I will let you all keep going. Appreciate y'all in the chat for tuning in. As always, go get yourself some Horns Down Fine Spirits. I know I've got to go get some more because this bottle's empty. So anyways, appreciate y'all. PG, appreciate you joining us. JP, nothing but love always. Tell your family I said hello. I'm looking forward to those cookies.
Yeah, she's cooking them this weekend.
I'm excited. So, anyway, see you guys. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Les, Boomer, Steven, all.
PG.
All right.
Thank you, Nate's man, for coming on tonight. You know, I think that we're going to look forward to next week and talking more about the Texas game. But before we go, just give us tell me where they can find you. Just on Twitter, what you do. I know you have under there. Oh, you recruiting analyst. Just tell them what exactly you're doing, and then give us your take on the Texas game.
Yeah, well, yeah, y'all can find me on Twitter at the PG Show, and then you guys can find me same thing YouTube PG Show. We do a lot of recruiting content. As I tell everybody though, this staff does such a good job that we don't have to talk about it a whole lot during the season. We just get to talk football. But yeah, no, 2026 is heating up. We're getting excited over there about the recruiting. But looking at the Texas game, I'm excited, especially if you get Deion Burks and Taylor Tatum back. I think the offense could open up a little bit more. I think we're going to see it clicking. Like I said, the offensive line had their best week against Auburn, and I expect they're going to continue to build on that. And if they give Michael Hawkins a little bit more time and, prevent some of that pressure, that's been on him, I think you could see Michael Hawkins probably hit the 300 pass yards here pretty quickly. I run a poll over on YouTube every single week, and I'm like, all right, when are we hitting over 350 yards? Is this the week? And so far, we haven't been able to hit it, but I think it's coming if this offensive line can come together. So right now, I have Oklahoma actually losing to Texas, but if we find out in the injury report that Deion Burks and Taylor Tatum are able to play, that prediction's probably flipping. So
Yeah,
Taylor Tatum's so good. He's so
he
good.
is, man. He
Oh
is.
man, that
Just
dude.
unfortunate, both of their injuries. Just unfortunate the way it happened. It's just hopefully they can be back. I really hope. Dion, I didn't know. I was like, man, we'll see. But
Yeah,
you know,
what's your take? Like, do you think you see a Farouk back this season? Do you think Andrell Anthony plays football ever again? Because it's starting to feel like Andrell Anthony might not play football.
yeah,
If it feels like you would rather redshirt Farouk and have him for next season with Jaden Gibson as your 1 and 2 wide receivers. Like
yeah,
I don't know. Like I don't know how you want to set it up this year. But
yeah,
relying on the freshmen and having some of these freshman receivers, I feel like it does hurt your offense. But surely as the season goes on, they're only going to get better, which I feel like we've seen a Petaway and guys kind of already start to maybe take some steps, and a Hester even take a step. So if they continue to take steps, maybe you don't bring a Farouk back. I think
yeah.
that's going to probably be the most intriguing thing this season.
Yeah, no, that'll be interesting to see. I don't know that we'll get Farouk back till the end, and maybe even then, if he's thinking about somehow going to the draft, or looking for a medical red shirt, it depends on what he's gonna do. I don't know what's going on with Nick either. And there's rumors out there. I'm not gonna speak about it here, but I don't know. It's just frustrating. He's not out there either. Andrell, yeah, man, I don't. It's just frustrating to feel like we've seen him suit it up and just not be able to be out there. And it's just unfortunate, man. You lose your top 5 wide receivers, it hurts any team. It hurts any team. So we'll see. Petaway, like you said, has made some moves. We'll see what Reagans can do. He's been out there. Obviously, they trust him to some capacity. He hasn't necessarily made a ton of plays yet, but maybe his time is coming.
Well, and he's lost his red shirt, so he's going to be a guy that probably plays a
Yeah,
crucial role in the rest of this offense for the rest of the year.
indeed. We'll see what Zion Kearney can do as well, and what he brings to the table. But sorry, quick little yawn came up, but yeah, that's how I feel, man. So I think that again, a lot of people are writing us off, and last year I feel like it was maybe worse in terms of like we got written off because of what happened the year prior, 49-0, even though the numbers were suggesting that the game should be closer than what people thought it was going to be last year, and then we ended up winning. This year, you can understand it a little bit more just in terms of our offense has been catastrophic a lot. Obviously pre Michael Hawkins coming in, defense has been really really good, better than it was last year, right? And so sacks leading in sacks, one of the best turnover teams in the nation as well. And so when you look at it, If the offense can provide anything, we give ourselves a chance. Texas defense is better as well. So I mean, they're legit, top 5 team, in the country. And so we gotta bring our A game. And I trust that the boys will be ready to go and not taking it for granted because it's the
Well,
Cotton Bowl. And
I have a lot of questions about the Texas defense because they really have not been tested, I feel like,
yeah,
especially in the passing game, and they lost so much in their DB room in the offseason that, do we really know that Texas is a good defense yet? Like, I mean, they might be okay, but I don't know if they're
sure.
good. Like, I don't know if they're
Yeah.
they're definitely not Oklahoma good.
No, I'm not, and I'm not saying that. I do think that there's something to, like, we talked about it for years on either side of the ball, like dominating who you're supposed to dominate, and they generally have done that. And so that, I mean, you can't really ask much more from them for what they have had. I understand what you're saying though. We got to see them be tested. Can we be the one to test them though? I don't
I
know.
thought we would be. I thought we would be the team that tests them, but I mean, it just depends. Like, I think right now for Texas, the thing that's scary if you're a Texas fan going up against Oklahoma, there's not a lot of film with Hawkins. So Oklahoma could throw something at you that you've never seen before, and I think it could hurt. I think it could hurt them a little bit, especially if you get like I said at the beginning of at the beginning of the live, like you need more Brennan Thompson screen passes. That works. I want more of that, right? I want to see more Hester deep shots. Like I want more of that. If you can get that against Texas and you beat them with, I mean, I think you have a chance to beat them with that. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see. What happens regardless. And hopefully we'll be walking out of there with our heads held high, and obviously a win more than anything, but seeing what improvements the team has made specifically offensively. So, but PG man, I appreciate you, dog. Anytime you want to come on, you just let me know for real. I know it's been too long, but yeah, enjoyed having you on tonight, brother, and we'll talk soon.
No, yeah, for sure.
All right, y'all. We'll see you guys here next week, same time, 8 p.m. Central Time, getting ready for Red River Shootout. We'll have a couple of Longhorn guests next week, so be prepared for that. Be prepared getting some hate, but they're decent guys too. So we'll make that announcement next week. We'll see you guys back here. Boomer. Thanks, bro.